Well, it's definitely a national security incident because we had the U.S. Consulate, after all, struck by gunfire. Whether it's a terrorist event or not, that'll be subject to the investigation that will be undertaken in the coming days and weeks. And that'll be based on the evidence that's collected both here at the scene and subsequently through the work with our partners.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. And folks, Torontonians woke up this morning to hear of major road closures in the downtown core. It had nothing to do with a severe weather event or a major accident. Rather, around 4:30 in the morning, individuals came to the U.S. Consulate behind me and shot it up. There were people inside the consulate, but there were no injuries, partly because the glass at the consulate is bulletproof. So in addition to these terrorists, and that's what I'm calling them, being savages, they're also not that stupid. Thank goodness they didn't drive up to the consulate in a truck of peace loaded with improvised explosive devices. But as you can see, there was a huge police presence at the U.S. Consulate. The same with the Israeli consulate a couple of kilometers up the road. And it is chilling. Let it be said that this story is getting global publicity for all the wrong reasons, from the New York Times to the BBC, because we have to question who would do this, especially in light of the last several days. We had an Iranian boxing club shot up in Thornhill, a club operated by an activist promoting regime change in Iran. We also had a synagogue in Thornhill shot up, and a synagogue in North Toronto. So it's a beginning of a trend, isn't it? And no suspect has been caught yet. The only information we have so far is that the perpetrators of this crime were in a white Honda CR-V. Now, interestingly, Premier Doug Ford took to social media to comment on this atrocity, and here's what the Premier said, quote, "Absolutely unacceptable act of violence and intimidation aimed at our American friends and neighbors," end quote. Oh, suddenly the Americans are our friends and neighbors. Geez, I wonder if Dougie is going to bring back Kentucky bourbon and California wine to the LCBO, but that might be too much of an ask.
But I can reassure the Consul General and our U.S. friends and allies that we're going to throw everything at this. I had the opportunity to speak to the OPP Commissioner, and he reassured me that he's working collaboratively with all three levels of government, our municipal police, our provincial, and our federal police. And I have all the confidence in the world that they're going to catch these criminals, and we're going to hold them accountable, and they're going to face the full extent of the law.
But en route to the embassy, or the consulate rather, cameraman Lincoln J and I happened upon an OPP officer, really friendly guy, and well, the short answer is no. Check it out. Oh, hey, officer. Just wondering, is the OPP involved in the investigation of
No,
this?
sir.
Oh, okay.
No, we operate a security part of our security bureau right here at 438.
Okay.
We do have intelligence that works with Toronto Police, but
Okay.
the OPP does not have any involvement in this.
Okay, I appreciate that, because we had heard that with the shootings of the Jewish synagogues and the Jewish private school, there was calls for the OPP to investigate, but that didn't happen. Do you have any knowledge about that?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
I don't do with that side of the that side of the investigation.
Sure.
I work at Queen's Park, where we do security bureau for 4 different locations in downtown Toronto.
Okay.
We do security for a lot of the ministers of the Ontario Public Service.
Okay.
So I can't speak to anything that has to do with any of the shootings that happened at any of the locations. I do apologize for that.
Oh, no, not at all. I appreciate your time. See, I bring up the OPP because the OPP and the RCMP have been asked to lend their efforts to investigating those synagogues and Jewish schools being shot up, but they're simply not interested.
It's happening because everybody's passing the buck. The feds saying this is a local issue. The province is saying, local issue. Like James and I, from the firebombing of the Jewish supermarket 3 years ago, we said we need this to be treated like an act of terror. And the RCMP said, no, it's not us. It's not us. The police matter. We've had the Jewish day school shot at twice.
3 times, yeah.
3 times. We've had these synagogue shootings. We've had a Jewish career college on Almas shot at the other day. We've had Jewish businesses shot at. So we're saying this is not just a local thing. It's so obvious.
And in the aftermath of this most recent attack, we have to wonder who is behind it. And golly, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to theorize that perhaps these are members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. That is the military terrorist group. I mean, they're recognized now by Canada as a terrorist group that are loyal to the Iranian regime. And maybe that explains, in light of the war in Iran, that there are perhaps sleeper cells in Toronto and elsewhere being activated to carry out these gross acts of terror.
I believe there's sleeper cells all over the world, as we know. They're in the U.S., they're in Canada here, and we have to weed these people out and hold them accountable. Because, again, folks, we all grew up here, very peaceful, loving communities all across the province, and for these people to be doing this, they need to be caught and they need to be thrown in jail for life.
Now, I have to say, a welcome sign at this U.S. consulate are the bouquets of flowers, as well as photographs of 4 of the U.S. soldiers that were killed in action in Iran. And I think, folks, that speaks to the majority of people here in Canada that are not on side with the Iranian regime. People are showing their support for our ally. One final thought. On Saturday, the Al-Quds March will take place. It will be coming down University Avenue per usual. They always congregate outside the U.S. consulate. What is the Al-Quds March? Well, this was something invented by the Ayatollah Khomeini back in 1979. It is packaged to show solidarity for the Palestinian people, but that's a falsehood. It's all about Jew hatred and Israel hatred. Hundreds of these people will be congregating to celebrate this fake holiday, a fake holiday on par with Kwanzaa and Festivus, if you ask me. And I guess I wonder where is Doug Ford on this file? Before he became premier, he said the Al-Quds rally would not happen on his watch. He said that they would not be allowed to use the grounds of Queen's Park, which is just a few clicks north of me. But again, I guess Doug Ford, or more appropriately, his handlers, they don't want to offend the Islamist vote. Absolutely pathetic. So Rebel News will be all hands on deck on Saturday to cover that Al-Quds demonstration, and we've been told there will be a counter demonstration of those supporting regime change in Iran. But in light of what happened in the wee hours of the morning today, folks, all these hothead Islamists gathering outside the U.S. consulate, you got to ask the question, what could possibly go wrong? For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzies. Say, folks, it remains unknown who did this in the wee hours of the morning, the shooting spree at the U.S. consulate. In fact, we don't even have a description of the suspects, just the fact that they were driving a white Honda CR-V. But like I said earlier, the Al-Quds Day March will be coming here on Saturday. This is a disgrace. These people will be those who support Hamas, those who support the sugar daddy of Hamas, that would be the Iranian regime. And we think it's absolutely outrageous it's happening in Toronto. Will you do me a favor? Will you go to stopalqudsday.com, stopalqudsday.com, sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the sort of reporting the mainstream media is simply not interested in.